for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Rappers acting, say they high, say they sipping pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up, had to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in the field. That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Took the way you saw the world, then distorted it. Now you think you wanna rock that twirl somewhere orbiting. Theories disproportionate, the truth distorted quick with a forceful grip. They force a misinfo that we absorbing quick. Took the people's signature, that mean extorted it. They forging it, if news anchors informants who informing them. There's a surplus, but they tell us there are shortages. Credit economy mortgages, dollar that's supported with empty fortresses. But what's important is this, we courting ships important. Yes, of course it is, but extortion is in accordance with an assortment list of foreign tricks we ignoring, which informant this, informant this. It looked like we were snoring tricked. Pedophilia and the government endorsing it. Yeah, eugenics is exactly what abortion is. You just vilify those insubordinate. Way to matrix engineer, that's unfortunate. Geopolitically, we in a field. That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Rappers actors say they high, say they sip with pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up just to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in the field. That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? In a world where Austin's finally back on his channel because the Grabblers decided to let me pretend to speak freely. And I, check it out, guys. I went and got a little thing for the Wi-Fi. Yeah, I did it, man. I did it. And I'm in a Grabbler trick of debt where I got a payment plan. It's like a 2-year plan. And it's like $500 or whatever. But I did it. I did it. So I can give you all some streams. You know, I did it. I didn't pay the $500 up front because I don't have it, but anyway, now we got internet. I've been using the hotspot for the iPad and iPhone, and now when the iPad ran out, everything got throttled. As you saw yesterday, we had to mob down the street to go live on the iPhone. Now we got this as a backup, so we should be good. And then, you know, you just pay for the payment plan and the data, whatever. What's up, everybody? Back to the crib. It's been a while. Let me catch up with the super chats. It's also been a while on the donations being read off. My boy Mike, thank you very much for the generous super chat or cash app. Never stop spreading the good word. You already know, as long as I'm breathing, I'm going out swinging. My boy Isaac, keep up the hard work. Praying for y'all. Thank you, man. Much love. Thank you for the support. It's much appreciated. Caleb, for inspired, man. You helped me to start being sober. Wow, bro. Thank you for the generous super chat. And I hate calling them super chats. It's a little grabber term from YouTube, but thank you. And dude, that's awesome to hear, bro. It really is. Yeah, man. Stay sober minded because the enemy goes around like a lion looking to devour. All right, I think we're caught up. Oh, Michael with the hands. Thank you very much for the cash app. We're like 3 streams behind, guys, so I'm trying to catch up with you. Angie, thank you for the super generous cash app. Thank you very much. Y'all is good all the time. True that. And thank you very much. That means a lot. And this would be impossible without you guys. And of course, without y'all. Y'all bless you, my guy. Freaking happy you're back, dude. Thank you very much, Waters Above. And I'm glad to be back. Much love.
Sweet. Wait for it. Wait for it. In a world where Austin has officially basically turned into an infomercial. Regina, thank you very much for the donation on PayPal. I don't see a message, but for the Masquerade Tour, thank you very much. Much love donating through Masquerade Tour. It's much appreciated. You guys are legends, and this is the way that we are able to continue to go around and speak the truth. And then Nicholas, if I'm rereading some that I've already read off, I'm sorry. I just know I'm behind, so I'm going a few days back. Nicholas, you have a strong anointing on you. I do remember reading that one. Thank you very much for all the support. You guys are legends. All right, let's get into it. Infomercial over. I'll read the donations during the stream, at the end of the stream. I don't want you to think I'm going to forget you guys. I'm not going to forget you guys, and I love you guys. My boy Anthony Dixon with a super chat. Much love to you, Austin, everyone in the chat. Much love to you, bro, and thank you for the support. All right. So the stream tonight is on idolatry. So I did throw up the disclaimer, but we'll throw it back up here. Caution, known to cause gammas to spiral. Hopefully the audio and everything is good. Yeah, so I'm going to show you some videos, and, you know, honestly, any of the churchians that want to spiral, any of the gammas that want to spiral, man, look, dude, I gave you a disclaimer, bro. Nobody cares, okay? So we live in a world flooded with idolatry. This goes for all kinds of different aspects of our lives, right? People idolize athletes. People idolize artists. People idolize actors and actresses. People idolize their significant other. People idolize all kinds of people. People idolize YouTube content creators. People idolize. See, having respect for someone, admiring what someone does or their boldness or whatever it is, you know, that's one thing, right? Being motivated by someone, that's one thing. But idolatry, that's an entirely different thing. Now, there is a much more literal application of idolatry, as in like an idol, a literal physical idol, an engraven image. So this is kind of what has inspired this stream, is how many engraven images we have all around these so-called churches, right? That meet on Sunday, of course. And so I'm going to show you a video from, you know, we went by a church today, and if you caught the synagogue stream, you know, it's interesting that it's sin and gog in that word. It isn't a Hebrew word, it's just a Greek word. So it's just a Greek idea. See, the believers used to fellowship, and they used to meet together, and you know, knowing that iron sharpens iron, and they would meet wherever. It wasn't just because it was in a building or anything like that. So if you look at like beware of those in the inn, who are in fact the synagogue of Satan, if you look at the actual etymology, then it means building in opposition to Yah, right? So we talked about that in the synagogue. These churches or whatever, they're just buildings that are tax exempt, gave their authority over to the government, and they don't have their authority now. And then they meet together on the first day of the week as opposed to the seventh day of the week, which is the Sunday. It's all about sun worship. So without further ado, I'm going to show you a couple of these videos. So here is one of the things outside of this quote unquote church that we stopped by. You know, nothing inherently wrong with this, of course, but as you see, it's a sundial literally sitting outside of the quote unquote church that meets on Sundays. Okay, so you know that seems a little fishy from the jump there. Eyes to see, thank you very much for the $20 super chat. Much love, it's much appreciated, brother. All right, so we're gonna move on to this next picture, which motivated us going there in the first place. So share screen. This is ridiculous. Yeah, check it out, guys. Let me change the background so we got a little better contrast. All right, so yeah, you tell me what's going on here. Why is this outside of a so-called church that represents the scriptures? I don't know. I'm just as confused as you are, because that's like literally what the third commandment: thou shalt not have engraven images. And of course, the creepy little Catholic Church actually tried to take that out and change that one, but whatever. That's because they're flooded with engraven images. And then here is another one. I want you guys to just really take this in. This is not okay. It's in no way okay. If you go to a church that matches or meets on Sundays and they have this stuff outside, you need to get out of there. You know, come out of her, my people. And you're in the end. And that's actually when that warning was specifically addressed to you guys. I'm not even sure which one I actually just showed you. I'm just going to show you this one now. There you go. What's going on here? That's, of course, a thumbnail. So we decided to go, and I just wanted to let people know, like, you're not supposed to have engraven images. This is not good. Like, why, have you thought about this? Why is this out here? I'm going to show some of the interactions. For some context here, we don't have all the interactions. I started to get a little bit more aggravated with, like, the overall, we'll call it spirit, the overall, like, attitude and vibe of all the people there, right? Very arrogant, stuck up, just there for appearances. Wasn't there to in any way have like a real substantive conversation about the scriptures or the Messiah or the Father. They don't care about that. That's not why they're there, right? So we can't show all of it unedited in context just because there were children in the footage sometimes, and I just don't want to do that. Of course, them being tax exempt, as most churches are, they're actually considered to be public property, but just simply the children did nothing, and there's no reason for them to be put on blast. So I can't really show you the entirety of everything, but we're still going to show you some of it. So here is one video where I just decided to ask this guy what it is I'm missing here with this little statue outside. Hey, why do we have a graven image out here? Why do we have a statue out here? Because thou shalt have no graven image. We have a statue out here of Jesus, supposedly. Yeah. What's up with that?
And I'm trying to understand your question.
It said have no graven images. This claims to be a church representing the Bible, and it literally has a graven image outside of it, a statue, what the pagan Romans did.
Well, Jesus is alive, right?
Yahshua was his name. Yeah, he resurrected, absolutely. But the
He's
Father,
alive.
yeah, but I have no graven images.
That's not a graven image.
That's
He's alive. He's standing.
That's not alive. That's a stone.
Yeah, that's a representation of live Jesus.
Yeah. Let's go. Yahshua. Let's go. So his wife came over there and commended him what to do and told him that it was time for him to leave because you're not allowed to talk about the scriptures or what they actually say or to reconsider the validity of where your stance is, right? Because because the wife told you what to do and told you to leave. This is a reoccurring theme at this church. Apparently, the Jezebel spirit is just running rampant where the natural order of everything is thrown all over the place. So she literally came, interrupted the conversation, and took him away and said, let's go. And then he just put his head down and followed her while he wore his really cool attire on his face. All right. And guys, I know a lot of you guys are going to get triggered. I don't care. I actually really thought about whether or not to show this. And yeah, I'm going to show it. I'm going to show it because I know a lot of people here still go to Sunday government buildings that claim to worship the Creator. And so you guys need to realize this is not okay. It's not okay. And you'll see very shortly that not even the one that leads the congregation can actually in any way defend this. So here is another one of the interactions. And I know, like, yeah, I was frustrated. I don't like it. I don't think it's very, very terrible to do that. I think it's awfully bad for the person that's in charge of the congregation. But here's another one of the interactions.
Now we're just talking about picking Doug up, taking him to lunch.
This is a pagan statue out here. It says have no graven images. Yeah, we have statues of Jesus outside. On Sun Worship Day, the Sabbath is the seventh day, not the first day. The Roman Catholic Church built statues and changed it to Sunday. You have a sundial outside your church. Okay, that's it. I guess I don't remember being that short, but again, we had to be like very selective as to what I could show you because of the how does that sound? Because of the children in the background coming out, being brainwashed in their stupid little auction depriving attire. All right, now here's where I go and talk to the quote unquote pastor. Sorry, I gotta share the screen and close it out, share the screen each time. All right, here we go. Sorry for the breathing in advance, and I kind of got worked up. I was a little bit nervous, and if you're triggered, I'm sorry if you're triggered. If the quality isn't that good, I'm sorry about that too. I literally spent all kinds of money to try to do my best for you guys. Here we go. Hey, are you the pastor?
Yeah, I'm one of the pastors.
Okay, awesome. So you agree we're not supposed to have graven images, right?
Yeah, but that's not the graven image.
It's an engraved image. It's the literal definition of it.
It is Jesus who was incarnated.
That's not Jesus.
That is Jesus.
That's a stone.
Okay, well.
So you do agree that it says no engraven images?
I agree the Bible says that. I do not agree that that is a graven image.
Well, what is a graven image?
Talking about.
What's a graven image?
That was in the Old Testament, and they were speaking of Yahweh. And that's a representation of Jesus, who was born of the flesh and blood, so that you can see him and touch him. Therefore, it is okay for the church to have images of Jesus.
So the Old Testament doesn't count anymore?
It does count.
Okay, because Yahshua was his real name. He said, I came to fulfill, rather not abolish the law. So I do not even think. I'm trying to understand why there's a graven image of a statue of a false deity outside, and this is a Sunday worship, which is the Roman Catholic Church.
This is not a Roman Catholic
But this is
in Christian churches. It is not considered a violation of that commandment to have no graven images when it's an image of Jesus.
Where does it say that?
What does it say?
You're just saying, does this man have authority over scriptures, or does scripture have authority? Where does it say, unless you make it up Jesus?
You asked me a question.
Sure.
I gave you the answer.
That's
you don't have to accept the answer, right? And
Okay.
I don't accept your critique of that image.
So you think we should build statues of Jesus and claim it to church when he specifically said not to do that?
Jesus didn't say that.
He said, I came to fulfill the law.
Images of Jesus in the earliest days of the church.
That doesn't mean it's not pagan. The Roman Catholic Church absorbed the scriptures and changed it to Sunday.
It was Roman Catholic Church. These are Jesus' own disciples who would have had paintings of him in the catacombs, paintings of him. When Jesus came flesh, took when to have representations of Jesus, has been a part of Christian worship since New Testament times. Now, you don't have to.
The disciples don't have statues of Jesus, man.
Well, then you don't need to be here.
Well, I do need to be here. I was called to be here to rebuke this place, and this has statues outside, and it's a Sunday. You have a sundial outside. This is sun worship. The Sabbath was yesterday.
Okay,
Is not.
I just want to interrupt.
Of course you do.
I'm going to get it on recording right now.
Of course you are. Little Jezebel.
You were recording outside. You're free to record. You're not free to record my minor children. She did get my kids in the video. I was watching this camera. What is your name?
Austin.
Last name?
Doesn't matter.
What is your name?
Chris.
Perfect.
Perfect. You, this is public property, right?
I don't care. You don't have a right to publish.
You should reread the law.
My kids, minor children.
We're not going to publish your kids.
Just in case that video goes up, my kids are on the video. If my kids are
You're trying to stop the Lord's work right now. I don't have time for this.
No, that's fine.
Hey.
If my kids' faces are on the internet, they're minors.
Yeah.
I will be pressing charges against you.
Sounds good. All right, sounds good. Thanks for the warning. So I'm trying to understand. You do need to really consider this, because you know what it says? It says that any man that teaches the congregation to go away from the law, they will be held the most accountable out of everyone on the earth. They will be considered the least in the kingdom of heaven. And it doesn't mean that you get to heaven with the way that the modern church defines it. It's all around you. Heaven comes to the earth. You will be considered least than human. You'll be judged worse than the atheist if you teach men to turn away from the law. That's what you just told me. The Old Testament doesn't matter, and we can just make up our own rules about engraven images on Sunday.
All right. Have you had your say now?
Well,
Have you said what you've come to say to me right now? Because if you have, and I think you have, and I'm going to stop you right now, I would like you to leave because you're insulting good Christian people.
No, you're insulting them.
I would like you to leave this church property.
Is this a public property?
It is not. It is church property.
So you don't have a 501(c)(3)?
As a pastor, no, it's not a 501(c)(3).
Okay, so you're not tax exempt.
We are tax exempt, but it's not a public space.
Well, you have.
And I have every right. And if you want to talk to the police when they come in a few minutes,
okay,
you're welcome to realize that we can trespass, and we do constantly when we're being harassed.
I'm not harassing. I'm asking a pastor to answer my questions. You're misleading people, man. You're putting their souls at jeopardy.
I need some help here. Yes, I'm being somewhat harassed.
Can you answer my questions? Because I'm trying to figure this out.
I've asked him if he's had to say.
Our pastor's answered your question.
He didn't answer my questions.
Well, we respect him. Maybe he can.
There's a graven image outside. It says, "Thou shalt have no graven images." So how does this have the spirit of the Creator here? You're misleading people.
I can say to you today. Jesus loves all, right?
Yeah.
He loves all.
Yeah.
Okay.
And how do you show?
Okay, and so like I was trying to edit this video to put the two together. My glasses automatically cut over to the next one whenever it gets a certain length, and I wasn't able to do it. I haven't figured out the iMovie thing, and I wasn't gonna make y'all wait on the stream. But basically, I said, how do you show, Yah that you love him? And I don't even know. He started saying all kinds of other stuff. And I said, you follow his commandments. That's the answer. And then I told him the same thing, like any man that teaches other men to go away and turn away from the law, they will be held the most accountable. They will be judged the most harshly and considered the least in the kingdom of heaven. Heaven comes to earth, right? There's an etheric realm all around you. You simply cannot fully comprehend this, but you will be considered the least in everything all around you. You will be judged the most harshly. And it tells you also in the scriptures, it's better as if someone never even knew it than to basically lie or to turn back from it once they did know it, and to intentionally think that they can actually supersede the will of the Creator. So there you go. There's just one for one, guys. One for one. The actual preacher can't answer the question. He can't, and we didn't even get into everything else because he wouldn't let me like really ask him questions. He just kicked me out via threat of being arrested, dude. So that's what the Creator would do. And I know a lot of people are gonna get a lot like triggered because I went in there so assertive. I mean, I didn't flip any tables. I think I did pretty good. I think I stayed pretty reserved. I wasn't even flipping tables, bro. So like, yeah, if you go in there and if you really experience it and you really are being led by the Spirit and you start to have these conversations with these people that start like twisting and bending the scriptures and like with children with them, lying in front of them, telling them all this crazy stuff, like you're going to get frustrated. And also I'm not going to just leave y'all hanging on the video. I'll edit it and put it together or whatever. If y'all want to see it, y'all can tell me. But like, I was just pretty frustrated. Like that guy had already came around following me, like basically trying to intimidate me to leave. He did the same thing to Chris and I when we first got there. We respectfully waited for everyone to get out and come out, and then we just asked them like, what's up with this? And so it is what it is. I know a lot of people got a lot of critique. Hey, you go call out the apostate church. But I think that maybe you go to one of those places, and that's why you want to like critique how it was done. So the point here is that that's run rampant right now. So I actually can empathize with those people that critique modern Christianity because it's just purely blasphemous in almost every single way. And like the guy said, no, that's not an engraven image. That's Jesus. Jesus is God, and he's alive. So that he's alive. That's alive. Like, dude, that's a stone, bro. What are you talking about? It says no engraven images. And so this just comes from a lack of knowledge. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Hosea 4:6, even including that little pastor wearing the creepy little dress with his mask on, right? Like he doesn't seem to understand the historical context of why it is he does what he does and the practices and the traditions of men that he has actually implemented and then used to supersede what the scriptures actually say. But the Catholic Church absorbed the believers because they couldn't get rid of them. And they changed the name of the Messiah. They changed his birthday. They took out certain scriptures. They mistranslated things. Dare I say, they removed the Hebrew Gospels and then they rewrote it in Greek. And so then they changed it to Sunday, like they're worshiping on Sunday. And they actually tried to take out the third command that says, thou shalt have no graven images, because they're flooded with graven images. The Catholic Church is flooded with graven images. You have your rosary beads, you have the statues of Peter, the statues of Mary. And so this is a Methodist church, right? Supposedly the Protestant Reformation, right, resultant of the Protestant Reformation, and they have statues of Jesus on both sides of the freaking church, guys. So this ties in fully back to the problem that I was explaining in the synagogue stream, bro. Like, buildings don't mean anything. The fact that you put your tie on and you go to a building and drop money in a little metal plate so then the pastor can drive off in a McLaren doesn't mean anything, bro. That doesn't change anything. In fact, it's worse than if you had not ever done any of that. So it's time that you guys swallow your pride and you come out of it. I don't care if you're best friends with your preacher. I don't care if you have appearances to uphold. I don't care if you've been at that church for 20 years and my grandparents went there. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Every single person there was under the same false narrative and notion that they can just deify this false deity of Jesus Christ, right? Which wasn't his name, right? And never address the Father, never address the Torah. See, he came to fulfill the law, right? He said, I and the Father are one, and he was on a localized scale and a physical limited version of himself so that he could come and show us the right way and actually rebuke the Pharisees and the Sadducees at the time. And then he balanced out the metaphysical equation because the wages of sin is death, right? So yes, Yahshua was divine. And yes, we should acknowledge his divinity, and a blatant undermining of the divinity is in no way cool, bro. But you have to understand, this is why it's so important for us to really get down to the meat and iron sharpen iron, and we get together regularly, and maybe like, I don't know, on the Sabbath, like we're supposed to, and just in general, always. It's not supposed to be limited to one day a week. We're just supposed to rest on that day. We can keep it holy, remember, and keep it holy, right? And so we can start to learn these things and figure these things out. We've been greatly deceived. This requires a lot of humility. I'm learning all kinds of things as we're going, and I'm sharing it with you guys and being transparent about my growth and my growth and knowledge about the true scriptures as I grow. Right? Like I just found out that there was a Hebrew version of Matthew, and that was only it's only become a thing like a decade ago, right? So for all the people that are like, well, Austin always talks about those scriptures all the time. Now, like, yeah, bro, this is my channel, bro. Which day though? It's the seventh day. It's the seventh day. Dude, even beavers don't like go and like work on Saturdays. So look, I want everyone to fully understand this. They have a statue. Think about how incredibly dark this really is. Okay. Like people don't fully grasp what they're doing. They're just going there for appearances. That's it. The Jezebel spirit was everywhere there. Every single female I saw there was usurping authority over men. Every single one of them, except for a couple older ladies. And there was one lady there that was actually very like receptive, and you could tell, I could feel like a purity, like a sincerity and a genuine nature of her. And she was listening to what I was saying, and she wasn't arguing. It was resonating with her, and she was realizing like, wow, he's not telling me, he's telling me what the scriptures say. And she had a realization in that very moment, and she just tried to continue the conversation with me to gain understanding. And you could tell that she was actually heeding the words and listening, right? But for the most part, I still think that this will be one of the greatest parts of the deception, is like the usurping authority over men, like the deification of women, right? Like, oh, God's a female, right? And then you have this push for this female Holy Spirit nonsense. So it's like that actual spirit was present, and it was very obvious that it was present. And then another thing is that they had the statues. I want you to really think about how dark this is, okay? So they have statues of Jesus outside, and they say, oh, Jesus is God, right? And so they deify that's not even his real name, right? And they deify that name with that statue up there pointing to it, saying like, yeah, well, that's Jesus. Jesus is alive. How is that Jesus, bro? That's a stone, bro, for one, right? So his name was Yahshua. It wasn't Jesus. This is literally the same exact thing that the original pagan beliefs were. Nothing new under the sun. Literally, there's nothing new under the sun. This is the same thing that the Roman pagans did. Right? They had statues and they deified them, and they were actually polytheistic, and then they integrated Jesus into that. So they're doing the same thing. So it's very important part of like the scriptures to kind of get together and figure out and fully understand and wrap our mind around, because we're trying to wrap our carnal mind around the divinity of the creator and then him in the physical form, right? As in, yeah, like part of the creator was in the physical form. Like if you've seen me, you've seen the Father and I are one. Like before the beginning was the word was with Yah, and the word was Yah. So to say that there is no connection, or that he's just some dude, is ridiculous. But at the same time, to just throw out the Father and throw out the Old Testament is ridiculous. And we covered that in the Is Yahshua Divine stream, and then we're going to do a Trinity stream in the future. So there's no reason to get too in depth into that, but I want you to realize why I feel it is important to address it. I know it's uncomfortable for some people. I know some people have gone out on a limb and talked about it and argued about it, and they genuinely think they're coming from a pure place to defend Yahshua. I feel you, bro, and like it's okay. There's nothing wrong with learning things and like growing in humility. But we need to do this because we need to realize this very narrative is being used to deceive the modern quote unquote church. That's the main sales pitch, because it's replacement theology to throw away the Torah, to get rid of the instructions, to undermine the importance of your relationship with Yah, the Father, Abba, the Father, the one true creator, and the actual instructions that we were given, that Yahshua came to fulfill. Do not think I came to abolish, but rather to fulfill the law. He came to show us how you were supposed to do it, because people were so lost and sucking into depravity and caught up in the tradition of men. And they had the Sadducees and the Pharisees there just making up all kinds of stuff. And he constantly rebuked them. And now we have the same thing going on all over the place. So you need to come out of her. Come out of her, my people. Dude, you can literally have way more of a presence of the Spirit here electronically on the internet every Shabbat. Just come listen to our show. We're going to do a show every Saturday, just Jack and I, and we'll maybe take calls. We'll definitely take questions. This is the modern version of fellowship, right? This is how we are able to connect via outside of this Babylonian structure. And it will come time where we're not going to even be able to do that, dare I say, and we're going to all be called to get rid of these things at the same time. And so we need to start working together, networking together, and getting outside of the system, and being self-sustainable, and realizing that fellow believers need to unify, and we need to actually get back to getting into the scriptures. And if you're not thirsty for the true knowledge of the scriptures right now, then you need, like, a lot of people are being called to it right now. So that means something's not adding up. Like, I don't care how much you talk about, like, Jesus this and Jesus that, you know, and you just go to your Sunday school church every single, like, Sunday church, Wednesday church, every single week. That doesn't mean anything. That means nothing. Actually, it's pretty bad because it's the Sunday worship. It's sun worship. There was a literal sun out there. I don't know who like builds these churches, bro. But like, there's some creepy little grabbler, I can guarantee you, that got lots of hand cramps behind the scenes making these blueprints, while literally you walk up to the front and there's a sundial sitting right there. There's nothing inherently wrong with the sundial. Well, there's nothing inherently wrong with the pentagram either, right? Sacred geometry isn't evil, right? They take it and they use it for evil, right? They're using this and blatantly telling you, look, bro, you're coming and worship on a Sunday, walking past a sundial, walking past a false deity represented in an engraven image. And so that's kind of my whole point here. It's like, it's really important that we realize the idolatry that society is being flooded down with. I don't think that people realize, like, how much they've been brainwashed. Let me catch up on these super chats. That flat flat, thank you for the sticker, my mans. Corlo, speak the truth. A lot of people are polarized and think they have the Holy Spirit, but actually preaching the twisted lies of the Trinity. Yeah, truth that. And I'll just say, yeah, bro, well said. I will say that this is a thing that's uncomfortable for a lot of people, but it's okay. We can have the uncomfortable conversations together and grow, right? But like, if you're going to get triggered and just spam the chats with Jesus is God, Trinity, Jesus is God, because you don't want to learn, bro, like, this isn't the place for you, man. Like, I just doing what I feel led to do, and it's to do my little part with a little bit of knowledge and the gifts and aptitudes he gave me, and trying my best to remain humble as I get the knowledge and I grow in knowledge and share it with you guys, and then come to teach and come to learn, right? And that's what we should all do. And yeah, according to my boy, which every time I fact check him and you go look at the Hebrew, he knows what he's talking about every single time. All you have to do is go fact check any of this, right? So does the Hebrew say Holy Spirit? If you look at KJV, it says Holy Ghost, right? Like, it doesn't say that. It isn't a separate entity called the Holy Ghost. The ghost is a human dies, and then a resurrection occurs, but like, there is no separate entity, Holy Spirit. It's like the Spirit of the Father, the Spirit of Yah, right? Like, wears you. That's what it says in Hebrew. So like, he touches you. He comes on a localized, personalized, perceivable version so that you can have an experience with him. Like, if you felt the Spirit of Yah, you know it's real, right? And it's just the semantics and what you call it, the terminology is not what's important at all, right? It's just this idea of an equivocation of three different parts that they've created a whole different, because they're creepy psychopaths that actually worship metaphysical creatures that you don't understand or know about, and they're trying to cast that spell onto other people so that we get diluted down and we get confused and we don't understand what's going on, right? Like, people don't even realize that there's a freaking statue outside of their church, bro. They just go there every Sunday. They don't even realize that there's like literally an engraven image, a violation of the very third commandment that they say that they believe in, right outside their church. They don't realize what the sundial is for. They don't realize why they go there on Sundays. They don't realize the importance of being tax exempt, giving your authority over to the government and demand over the authority of Yah, right? Like, that's how they're getting people. And so this entire, like, anything the Catholic Church has stamped and claimed, well, it's not in the scriptures, but we've been able to, we have divine approval, a divine stamp from the Creator. We get to change it and alter it. You should be really weary and step back. And that is exactly how you describe the Trinity. So I don't want to get too much into that, but that's what happened. And they admit that. And so there's truth there, but it's misrepresented. And then anything that's an equivocation to the one true Creator, Abba the Father, right? That's bad. It tells you right there, there's only one Creator, right? And so that's the whole point of it. And it's also the point to justify replacement theology so that you don't have to read the instruction. Don't even read the Old Testament. Where should I start reading the scriptures? Probably at the beginning. If I was going to guess, you should probably read the beginning of them, right? Like, where should you start to read the scriptures? I don't know, maybe like the Torah, the very beginning. No. Just read John. That's what everyone tells you. Everyone tells you just to read John, not even Matthew, because Matthew decapitates replacement theology in chapter 5, 17 through 20. So they're like, oh no, just skip to John. Skip to John, where we can try to twist things. And well, there's nothing wrong with the Gospels. Even the Greek version of the Gospels, they have slight changes here and there so that they could try to undermine the validity of them, because they place contradictions in there. They place entire phrases in there. Like, it's a very meticulously crafted deception. And this, I encourage all of you that think that Austin just rambling because now he's like some religious zealot. I encourage you to really think about why is it that they have put so much effort into being so sneaky with the way that they have altered these scriptures and changed them and hidden the original versions of them? Because they did not do that with the Quran. They did not do that with the Hermetic principles. They did not do that with anything that Muhammad said, anything that Buddha said, anything that's in the Vedic text of Hinduism, right? There's one particular belief system that has been attacked very meticulously like this. Our key of life. Glorify him in all we do. Seek truth. Church is every second of every day. There you go, man. Much love, bro. Where you been, bro? Thank you for the super chat and what you said. It's a fellowship of believers, man. Where there's two or more is gathered, the Spirit is present. So, you know, it's really not complicated. Humans just complicate the simple things. Divinity is simplicity. Putting in works. The Hebrew is not altered. Well, actually, the Hebrew language itself is altered. Like the current thing that we call Hebrew is actually Babylonian cuneiform, and it was much more pictographic. We'll get into all this whenever we do the shows. We start doing the show with Just Jack, you know, because he's been studying the Hebrew in depth for 10 years. And we're also going to do a show with Mr. C, who knows a lot about the Hebrew. And we're not going to agree on everything, guys. Like, that's not the point. We're not supposed to have like a monolith of like a drone-like mentality. It says, dude, if you actually have humbled yourself and sought the truth and just, guys, I mean, like truly just humbled yourself and asked for him to reveal himself to you as the one true creator, and that you're actually sincerely willing to change your life because of that. See, you can say whatever you want to, but if that part's missing, like that, listen, this is the key. You're sincerely willing to change based on him revealing himself to you, right? If that part's not there, then it's all for nothing. That's just the blunt hard truth. But if that part is, if you can sincerely say that, if that is the truth, and if it's revealed to me, I sincerely will change based on that, then he will reveal himself to you, because if you seek it, you will find it. I lived it. And then whenever that happens, then you'll realize that these are layered. The scriptures are layered in understanding. We got literal applications, allegorical applications, spiritual applications left and right, here and there, mean numerous different things, numerous different metaphysical applications for different times, for different scenarios, for different contexts. You cannot fully understand the scriptures just opening up and then speed reading from Genesis to Revelation and being like, I read the Bible 7 times this year. That's not how it works. Like, we need to get together, and the carnal mind cannot fully understand everything that's in those scriptures. And I used to think, oh, that's a cool, convenient story that they've created so that whenever things don't make sense, you can just say, oh, the carnal mind doesn't understand everything. But then whenever you actually seek the truth and you fast and you pray and you continue to read them and then you reread them and you ask for revelations about them, you'll find out, wow, how did I miss this the whole time? This was finally revealed to me. Now it makes perfect sense. Look at the layer and the beauty within these layers. Then you realize, no, this isn't just some trick by some creepy grabbles that need carpal tunnel surgery. These is like legitimately the truth that's being grabbled and misrepresented, but they cannot do it. They cannot fully take it away, right? So we have things revealed, like, for example, we now have found out that there's like the Hebrew text of Matthew, right? Like, I don't think that people were even slightly in the ballpark of being ready for the depth of that deception like 50 years ago, right? So like these things are being revealed in the times that are perfect, you know. And so you may like, does he keep it intact? Yeah, he keeps it intact. And I told everyone in the synagogue on Globusters activism that basically like the belief being from Judaism that they know that you cannot change one jot nor tittle of the Torah. They know that, okay? But they believe it from some Kabbalistic metaphysical sense that it's the fabric that holds everything together. They think the universe will literally fall apart if you change it, right? Because of the vibrational importance of the word that is represented by the Torah, the instructions. This is the Kabbalah teaching, right? So what they have done is they know not to change it. They've added an entire like interpretive section, right? The Talmud. And they actually teach that you should read the interpretive section, or like the Talmud that gives you an altered term or interpretation of the Torah. You're supposed to read that first, and then you go read the Torah, because they know not to change it. They know not to change it. Like, it is hands down one of the most powerful compilation of things that the books that ever exist. You should check it out. You should check it out. Like, that's what the Messiah was telling you about. Like, here's a little metaphysical cheat sheet. Don't listen to these creepy religious people wearing dresses and acting like there's some special boys with juice in their little fancy pants. Let's get back to the truth here. Here are the instructions. You need to humble yourself, and this is how it actually goes. So there you go. That's basically what I want to tell you guys. I just wanted you to think about the fact that people are being lured into this like false pagan belief system and doctrine. It's nothing different than someone that's just atheist, quote unquote, which those don't exist because the etymology is no creator, no God. So there's not one person on this earth that would actually be able to swear up and down and be honest that they know for a fact there's no creator. There's no such thing as an atheist. That term in and of itself is a deception. But the agnostic, right, that's at least honest, that they don't know yet, like, I'd say they're better off than the people that go around swearing up and down to other men that they know when they don't truly believe anything about it and they just go to maintain appearances. It's a real dangerous game to play. And I straight up I told the preacher to his face, man, like, I need you to listen to this, man. If you mislead men to go away from the law, you will be judged the most harshly, right? And so if you're in a church that does this and teaches replacement theology, I want you to take a step back, and you're going to have to swallow this. It may be uncomfortable. You may love your preacher, may really like the way that they play the music before he comes on stage. It really gets you in your emotions. It's basically a rock concert, and then it's a couple minutes of people misrepresenting what the scriptures say on a big jumbo screen behind them, and then you love it, and you've grown like accustomed to like those traditions, and you love your pastor, and think you're close to him or whatever. You're gonna have to swallow this truth here. If he teaches replacement theology and that the Torah no longer matters, the instructions no longer matter, and that you don't have to worry about the law, which again is actually accurately translated to instructions, that he will be judged the most harshly. He will be considered the least in the kingdom of heaven. And when you're actually looking in the Hebrew context of what everything is actually telling you and what the scriptures actually define that to mean, you know that the heavens come here and they're all around you in an etheric realm. You will be considered the least of anything in existence. So, and that hit that guy real hard, and he kicked me out. He kicked me out right after that. Started getting nervous, started stuttering, started looking down. He said, so you think you came to tell me, you think you've told me what you think you came to tell me? I think you have, after cutting me off. And then like, oh, the police are going to come arrest you if you don't leave. So, you know, you guys need to just get out, come out of it, because it's a house of cards, bro. And it's like the new Babylon. It's going to fit in line perfectly with the one world religion. Satan is not fighting churches, he's joining them. Yeah, for sure. Of course, Satan is opposition. The personification of the male pronoun would be a little inaccurate there, not to be too tedious. I just think it's an important point. Like, Satan means opposition. But yeah, the enemy, for sure. The enemy, like the opposition, anything in opposition. So like the opposition to Yah's will certainly has infiltrated the modern quote unquote church. There are ex-Satanists, which are led by this like Luciferian spirit and stuff like that. And I would say that the Watchers, at least in part, right, and the Prince of the Air, which I would say literally rolls over top of us, like they admit that they're assigned to different churches, and they go in there and they stand in the front, and then they say things like praise God, praise the Lord, praise Christ, right? Which is the blunt hard truth, dude. That's what it is. And if they go in and they give these preachers certain gifts like necklaces or whatever that they've cast curses on. So yeah, like they've infiltrated it. And I said this in another one of my streams, and beware of wolves in sheep's clothing, right? I'm like, when you get really close to the truth, that is when they infiltrate the movement. They infiltrate the movements closest to the truth. Dude, they don't care if you read the Quran, bro. Right? Now that's probably one of their least favorite, outside of the actual one true faith of the one true creator, Yahuwah, right? The scriptures, because it says revere the people of the good book. But it also like does a very nice job just completely twisting, undermining all of the major important areas that are like your salvation is dependent upon. But they don't really care about changing that. They don't really care about changing anything else. They don't infiltrate these other buildings, right? So even though these buildings inherently, like intrinsically with their very foundation, every single way that they were started and built and operate and are run are in complete contradiction to what the scriptures actually say to do, there are still people that find themselves in those buildings that are truly seeking the truth. And to think that he still doesn't like touch people there, or doesn't like change people's lives or pull them out of there eventually when they're spiritually ready and mature enough to do so, like, is very naive. I know that he does, because people are starting to realize, wow, maybe there is some truth to the scriptures. Maybe there is some truth to this Jesus guy, right? Which his name was, of course, Yahshua, but you get it. And so then they infiltrate that place because you're getting close to the truth. It's just like you to think that they haven't infiltrated in any way the flat earth movement. And when I say they, let's just say like the spirit of the opposition, right? Like, because pure truth, that is Yah. Okay, so anything in opposition to that, right, would be Satan. That's what it actually is. That's really all I got for you guys, bro. I'm actually kind of tired. I just like think about, and this extends beyond like literal physical statues, but whenever like, okay, you love your favorite artist that makes music, like make sure you kind of keep that in check, man. You can have much love and respect. You can really respect what someone's doing, especially if your motivation for respect is that they're doing the Father's work, right? But like oftentimes none of these mainstream people are in any way doing that, and they're actually meticulously doing quite the opposite. But that's one of the biggest way they've gotten people is with artists, right? And I mean, they don't even really hide it. Like one of the most popular shows as to picking out the next mainstream artist is called American Idol. It's literally called Idol, as some dude gets up on the stage and everyone basically worships him with their hands up, singing everything that he says in like some creepy little mantra, right? And then we have like basically a modern day version of the gladiators, or with UFC and boxing, and people like basically glorify, worship, and idolize MMA fighters now in the UFC, while grown men roll around in tights, and they just beat each other like senseless. And don't get me wrong, like they're pretty exciting, and like they'll draw you in, and you have to step back and realize exactly how primitive it is, and exactly, I've never like idolized any specific UFC fighter, but even just watching it all the time and getting worked up in it, I don't think it's good. I think it's a deception, right? And I will say I definitely did used to idolize when I was younger different football players, right? Like that's another big one, the sports, which is just like the Roman games in the modern form. That's all it is. There's nothing under the sun, right? Rome went nowhere. It just updated its shell so that you wouldn't know exactly what was going on. And all these people that say that they broke off from the modern church, no, they did not. The Protestant Reformation, well, why'd you just keep the same books and then just take a couple more out? So the Roman Catholic Church, they take a whole bunch of the books out. They take the apocryphal texts out. They change all kinds of text with mistranslations, and they literally take out entire sentences here and there. They change the actual creator, the actual Messiah's name. They change everything about the actual story. And then there's a Reformation where you break off, and all you do is take some more books out of it and leave yourself with 66 of them. You didn't break off anything. You kept the same day that they changed and inverted as blasphemy to the creator. Because if you look at the scriptures, that is like one of the most serious things. It's like he takes that the most serious, bro. The Sabbath, to remember it and keep it holy, like he's very serious about that. If you just read the actual scriptures, unless you want to make up what you think because it's inconvenient to you to have to rest once a day and not work your job that you do, right? Golly, I guess this is a real polarizing subjects, man. Every time I read over the chat, I'm seeing if there are any questions, and I just see people getting triggered, like arguing. Guys, please stop arguing, man. Like, it's okay, guys. Everyone calm down. I think idolatry is not willing to give up something for Yah and loving that thing more. Money, status, drugs, etc. Yeah, exactly. Well defined, well said. I saw someone ask, like, do I think that this would be considered an engraven image? I will be honest, I actually don't know. I thought about that when I was getting in the shower, because I do remember in, like, I can't remember exactly where it is, like Exodus? No. Is it in Exodus? Let me think about it. Let me see if it's on this page. Exodus 20. It says, and Yah spoke all these words, saying, I am Yah, your Elohim. I'm reading the ESV, so I'm going to change it while I do it. Who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. You shall have no other Elohim before me. You shall not make for yourself a carved image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. You shall not bow down to them or serve them. For I, Yah, your Elohim, am a jealous Elohim, visiting the iniquity of the fathers of the children of the third and the fourth generation of those who hate me. And iniquity, really, that the word that's actually translated, it's like lawless, right? We'll get into some of that gravy, but it's like Many will come. So basically, I don't know. I'll pray about it. I'll see about it. I don't even care about this necklace, so I'll probably get rid of it. I didn't actually engrave it. It isn't a stone or whatever, but like, I don't know. I mean, I don't care. Maybe not. Maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. I'll look into it. That's actually a pretty good question. At least my boy, Mr. Anderson, is not scared to ask good questions. Do you worship your necklace? No, of course not, bro. Let's be real. But, and I don't know. You're just not, it says not to have engraven images and then worship them. So I don't know. But of course I don't worship my necklace, man. I think that there's like a place where it can get like really legalistic and pharisaical, right? And I don't know if that's actually a word. But what I was gonna tell you is like, okay, with the iniquity thing, like when you actually look at the word, like it should be like lawlessness or like, yeah, like against Torah. That's what it actually means, like lawless, right? But it says, many will come to him in that day and say, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name and cast out demons in your name? And you'll say, depart from me, for I never knew you, workers of iniquity, right? But like people just interpret that to mean evil or whatever, like bad. But actually it means lawless. And that same exact word is used for the man of lawlessness, right? So they accurately translate it there, but they just want to make this one little twist here where you don't fully understand. No, didn't we cast out demons in your name? Didn't we prophesy in your name? Depart from me, for you never knew me, you lawless ones, you that turned from the law. That's what it actually says. You that taught that you don't have to adhere to the law. You that undermine the law. You that think that you get to supersede the law. You that taught other men to turn away from the law. You lawless one, you workers against the law. That's what it actually says. Now I wonder why they changed that context, because they want to prop up replacement theology where the instructions don't matter anymore. And I think that this should be a real wake up call to the non-believers. This is who I'm really wanting to reach. I want to reach the people that are believers and need to learn some of this stuff too, so we can really not play dangerous games, right? But like, guys, why are they changing all this so meticulously and so discreetly? And how come it always stands tall and wins in the end? You guys don't want to be real about it? I know you don't worship it, bro. Yeah, I know. Mr. Anderson, you were just asking a good question, bro. I got no problem with your question, brother. Loss is to go against the Creator and to literally not adhere to the law, to the Torah. Can you answer my question, please? Scroll up. Let me see if I can find it, bro. What's your thought on people that say Yahweh is bad and not really good? I met some in the occult that say Yahweh is just tetramegahedron. Dude, yeah, that's just, it's kind of ridiculous. Like Yod Hey Vav, right? Like, I don't know how you want to pronounce it. I don't say Yahweh, right? Some say Yehovah, which seems to be more accurate. I say Yah or Yahuwah, or like I don't say Yahweh, but I don't think it really matters. Like there's no reason to be legalistic, but what's my like basically what you're saying is there are some people that say that the truth is he's actually the evil one and Lucifer's the good one, right? No, that's complete and total nonsense. Obviously, it's just a complete and total like bastardization of what it's actually saying. For example, which I addressed the misconception that, well, he says if you eat of this fruit you will die today, and then Lucifer, Gadriel, Azazel, the serpent, he comes and he says, you will not surely die today. You will be like God. You'll be like him. He doesn't want you to do it. You'll be like as powerful as him because you'll have full knowledge. And then they ate of it and they didn't die that very day. So it looks like Lucifer is actually the good guy trying to give you the knowledge that taught you, told you what really would happen. Now you actually do have the full knowledge. Now you are like a God, and like you just haven't fully understood that yet. And in today's day and era, because we've been so detached from it, but he was trying to help them and come and tell them what the truth is. And the one that lied in the story was actually the creator, right? And that's just ridiculous, and it just lacks complete context. That's not that I'm mad at you or that you're ridiculous necessarily. You're just lacking context. I guess you could read it like that, but the truth is that a day is like 1,000 years. 1,000 years is like a day. In scriptural context, 1,000 years equates to timeless or outside of time, like infinite. Literally, these are all just very verifiable things, and you must actually study the word and show yourself approved before you can, try to step outside and critique it. Right? So anyway, a day is like 1,000 years, 1,000 years is like a day, 1,000 years is equated to be timeless or infinite. So yeah, they did die in that day. They died in 900 something years old, just under 1,000, because we actually existed outside of time with the creator in the garden prior to the fall. We did not exist within the confinement of time or cell degradation or us eventually dying, right? This was a resultant of the fall. And once we did not listen to him, then what he said would happen happened. We no longer lived forever. We died under the 1,000 years because we don't exist outside of time anymore because we didn't listen to him. So there's that misconception. And that's one of the main ones propped up to say, like, Yahoo is evil. I mean, it's just such a joke, bro. That's literally the Luciferian Gnostic doctrine, is that he's evil, and they think they're woke because of that. Like, no, it's so stupid. Like the little creepy psychopathic rabblers, they're not that smart, bro. Like, some of them are kind of smart, but like they're not. They're lacking wisdom and discernment. The ones that do have like higher intellect, it's just stupid. And it's just actually, it appeals to the ego and to the pride, and you want to think that you're a creator or that you're a god. And it's easier to think like, oh, I'm illuminated. Lucifer came to tell us all about it. Yeah, and that the creator made everything, but he's the architect that put everything together, and he's like trying to give you rules and doesn't want you to know your true power, so you can be some little robot here, even though he gave you free will. He really thought this one out. He gave you free will, but he wants you to be a robot. He really thought this one out. But Lucifer's the one that comes and says, oh, look, no, you don't have to listen to the instructions. He's just some crazy creator, even though he created you, Lucifer, you psychopathic liar, right? And then, oh, no, but here's the truth. I want to help you. And he's the one that actually wants to help you be illuminated. And this is the truth, and blah, blah, blah. And some people think that the Gnostics don't believe in any actual, like, Luciferian, like, metaphysical entity. They believe in, like, a combination of illumination within the Luciferian doctrine, yes. But they do indeed believe in, like, a centralized, like, power. So, like, that's what the text say. I'm getting kind of hot. Well, I'm just drinking coffee, talking real fast. Could you talk more about them collapsing the economy, like the fiat currencies? Man, to be honest, bro, I really don't want to, man. Like, the death warrant of no, bro. The death warrant of the dollar's already been signed. It's going down. It was created to do that very thing, so they can bring in the replacement economy. Don't try to cling on to it or think there's some way out of it or have like economic arguments. It's gone, bro. It was created to go down. No fiat currency in the history of mankind has ever not collapsed. That's just how they're built. They're literally Ponzi schemes. Yeah, they are taking the final victory lap of we got you with the dollar for a long time. Run it up, get everything for dollar or pennies on the dollar, collapse all the small businesses so that they can. This is my take. I don't know everything, but they're going to replace the economy. They're going to replace the current economic structure. It's going to be like a Jubilees, which of course it will not be a Jubilees of Yah. It'll be, Lucifer can't create, he can just imitate. That's what this will be. This will be an ultimate imitation of the truth. So they'll maybe the reemergence of sun worship and deify, say the sun is some deity that gives life to everything, which has a little bit of truth because it helps you grow food. It does give life to things, but that's worshiping the creation, not the creator. And then the Antichrist, son of perdition, the man of lawlessness, comes and then basically says, like, he's the physical, fleshly manifestation of the deity that is the sun. It will be an entire inversion and imitation of the true story. They're going to do this with everything. And they'll do this with the Jubilees as well, in my opinion. Keep personal attack to 0. I agree. All right, guys. There you go. There's a stream. I'm going to check the donations and see what's up. Hopefully the service is pretty good. I don't really know. This is the first time we've run off this. I know my iPad's like out of data, so it looks real choppy there, but it may look real choppy because just because it's out of service, you know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, and go help my boy Latter-day Saints get some subs. Just because I know my man's putting in work and actually making content constantly, and he's repping the truth. And whenever he, when he calls me, he drops some gravy, bro. So just go show him some love and sub Latter-day Saints. All right, let's see if we got any donations before we get out of here. Not much, but it's for the gravy and love you share with fam. Thank you very much, Frank. Much love, bro, for the support on Cash App, bro. My boy Michael. I missed the stream. I was cutting down trees. No worries, but what are you, some type of Nephilim? I'm just kidding, and thank you very much for the support, man. Much appreciated, much love. That was one of the biggest forms of rebellion against the Creator, was to cut down like the giant trees. I'm pretty sure that that's pretty obviously the case. All right, we're caught up on the donations. If anyone sends any donations between now and the next stream, I'll read them at the beginning. And I love you guys, man. Thanks for kicking it. If y'all got any quick questions in the chat, I'll answer them. Austin, what's your opinion on man, you almost got me. You almost got me, bro. On the little, I don't really want to talk about gammas. But no, I don't think that lifting weights is good, and I think that we can be in way better shape without lifting weights. I think that's a trick. I don't think that you should take supplements. Like, I think yeah. Let's not bring that person up here anymore. Yeah, exactly. Don't need the negative energy. Yeah, but he almost got me, but he didn't give me Red for Bear. We breezed right past that. I think for the $100 on D Live, Direwolf, and thank you for the 100 lemons, and then thank you for the lemon plain something. Stay woke, stay safe. We must not speak falsely. The hour is getting late. All right, yeah, I agree. I don't know if you're telling me I'm doing that, but I would rather prefer you specify. Can someone? Yeah, there we go. Sorry, I normally don't read the D Live chats here lately. I forget, so I know that's why y'all probably aren't saying much there. Later, much love, Rakia Live. Thanks for kicking it, bro. It's been a while, man. Where you been, bro? Holler at the boy. Shoot me a DM on Discord or something. What's up? Could you talk about the economy collapsing, bro? I legitimately just did that. Farm work gets you in shape. Yeah, and like cutting trees and stuff. We were talking about that, actually. That's the best way to get in shape. I bet they were super jacked back in the day. All right, so I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for kicking it. Basically, the summary of the stream is that we went to a church and they had like actual statues outside, and that's just ridiculous. That's an engraven image, and that you're not supposed to have any type of engraven images on, certainly on a sun worship day with a sundial outside where you teach replacement theology, deify Jesus Christ, a false deity with a false name, so that you don't actually have to get back to the Torah or getting within the Father's will. But of course, you undermine the divinity of Yahshua is also inaccurate. And there you go. Just remove idolatry from your life, which means that you're placing something above Yah or his will or his importance, whether this be UFC or any other type of sport or any type of artist or money or your significant other, like literally anything above the will of Yah and you know, the creator himself. There you go. Can I email you? Where can I email you at? WitsitGetsIt@protonmail.com. So yeah, there you go. If you want to support the door, it is the same email for PayPal, WitsitGetsIt@protonmail.com, $WitsitGetsIt on Cash App. And I will make a video to shout out all the Patreon. Shout out to all the Patreon. Much love. Thank you for kicking it regularly and supporting a brother. God bless all of you. Yeah, indeed. All right, I love you guys. Seek and speak truth unequivocally throughout all history. The weak-minded people always gather together, and they throw rocks at the strong, independent thinkers, bro. Like, you should wear that as a badge of honor. Certainly, if you're out there doing the Father's work, rejoice for whenever they revile you, or rejoice when they revile you, for they did that to all the prophets before you. It's no big deal. And yeah, just continue to be bold in these times, and be humble, because those who humble themselves will be exalted. Those that exalt themselves will be humble. We need to humble ourselves so that we can actually learn this new information, these truths, and we can accept these revelations. For my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Hosea 4:6. I'm gonna catch up with y'all tomorrow night. Not sure what the stream is gonna be about, but much love. Peace.
That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Rappers acting say they high, say they sipping pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up, had to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in the field. That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Took the way you saw the world, then distorted it. Now you think you wanna rock that twirl somewhere orbiting. Theories disproportionate, the truth distorted quick with a forceful grip. They force a misinfo that we absorbing quick. Took the people's signature to mean extorted it. They forging it if news anchors informants who informing them. There's a surplus, but they tell us there are shortages. Credit economy mortgages, dollar that's supported with empty fortresses. But what's important is this report and ships important gifts. Of course it is, but extortion is in accordance with an assortment list of foreign tricks we ignoring, which informing this, informing this. It looked like we were snoring tricked. Pedophilia and the government endorsing it. Yeah, eugenics is exactly what abortion is. You just vilify those insubordinate. Way to matrix engineer, that's unfortunate. Geopolitically, we in a field. That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Rappers acting say they high, say they sipping pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up just to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in a field. That's for Israel. Wonder is it real?